Hello everyone, and welcome to another One Piece manga read along. This is my chapter 1148 read along, and I'm thinking about doing it live on YouTube at some point, but haven't fully decided yet. Just know that, especially if you're a patron, some things might change soon, but I will make an update about it. Um, I recently started playing a little bit of One Piece Treasure Cruise, just to post an update about that. I'm gonna try out Treasure Cruise and Bounty Rush and see which one I enjoy more. Apparently, Bounty Rush is more popular, um, but also more difficult to build, like your characters or whatever. And since I don't have a lot of time to build any characters right now, but I just like the idea of collecting some of this kind of like art. I mean, look at this. This is so cool. And I don't know. I had fun. Last night I was having fun. um, so yeah, I just wanted to say that. In the live chat, we have Hunter, Tiago, Modru, Dark Shadow. Antonio will be back later. Booty is here. Sotos is like more than 10 chapters behind, but he says in the next 2 months or so he can join us again. Doji is here, Espada's here, and a shout out to Cherry, who might be here later. So yeah, let's jump in. As usual, I'm reading on my phone because, well, that's where I read manga. Oh, another update. Just, I am on chapter 25 of Ruri Dragon, and I'm really enjoying it. Also on Shonen Jump app. And then Ichi the Witch got a new chapter today. So I'm caught up to 32, but I'll read 33 tomorrow probably. So yeah. When I catch up with Ruri Dragon, I probably want to try this one called Gokurakugai because Panya really likes it. So that seems, and the art style, the character designs look really cool. And then Modru said that this new series started today, Altar of the Flame. This one by Yuki Kawaguchi. So just a little bit of Shonen Jump promo, not because I get paid to do it, just because I really like the app and I really like the manga. And it's fun to keep you up to date on the manga that I'm reading, because really it should hold me accountable so that I read more manga, because I don't read enough manga. Okay, but here we go. 1148. The chapter is called RONJA, and the cover page, the cover art is of Yamato leaving that castle she was at. Raizo, Tama, and the horse Selena, or whatever her name was, they're being left behind. But, and here's the best part, Ulti and the page one seem to be following Yamato. So like, yay! More Ulti, more Ulti! The title, or it says Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 33. Onward to Hakumai to deliver an Amigasa hat from Otama to Kawamatsu. Kawamatsu is the Kappa guy, right? I don't know why I did this. This was supposed to be Kappa. Anyway. Just to let you know, I might take a peek at the rolls every so often here, because, well, why not? My first key of the new reset was Hibari from One Piece. Okay. It begins with, my legs! They're moving on their own! RONJA! RONJA! Where are you going? You're gonna fall! RONJA! What's going on? It's weird, huh? But I'm fine, Ilva. Don't worry. I'll be just fine. I know it. Oh, she's like the little positive Pollyanna. Oh no, please don't let something happen to her. Don't let nothing happen to anyone. She's so positive and so sweet. You know, she kind of reminds me of that girl from Annie's Lobby. No, before Annie's Lobby, Water 7. Remember the mermaid, Ba-chan, and then the little girl? I forgot her name, but she reminds me of that girl. Oh, she's so cute. No, big Ronja! Come back! It's the underworld. Oh, Luffy's gonna save her, isn't he? Please, 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 Luffy, Zoro, Loki. Ooh, I claimed Loki in Waifu Wars. Anyway, it's the underworld down there. The first one, oh, this is my Denden Mushi. The first one is all set up to plummet Somers. Good. Patch it in so that all of Elbaf can hear the little twerp's voice. Now, if we don't hear your decision within 30 seconds, the first one of your kids gets pushed off. Beard Hill, Jarul, you need to give the orders to your school teacher. Tell her to light the school and library on fire. It's so cruel. Chief Jarul, that library holds the world. Yeah, it doesn't matter right now. There's a child. I understand the worth of those books, but this is a child's life. That library holds the words of people across thousands of years of history. What do you mean? Obviously, lives come first. I don't think that... Whoa. Sorry. Hanku got Erza, but anyway. I don't think anyone really means let's save the library and forget about the girl. I just feel like they're saying, isn't there anything we can do to save both? Because, like, just before, you know, I think that, but imagine being that kid, or imagine being the parent of that kid, or, you know. The conditions ain't the real issue. This is a massive turning point for Elbaf. Yeah, that's also true. Sorry. When you are negotiating with a terrorist, the problem is it'll never be enough, you know? They're never gonna let you go. They're always gonna keep threatening the kid, and probably in the end kill everyone that doesn't. So it's so difficult, like, negotiating with freaking... The conditions aren't the real issue. This is a massive turning point for Elbaf. Will we bend the knee to them or not? You want to let our children die just to prove a point? Isn't there anyone else around there? You have to stop this preposterous game. That's the real issue. You stay here, Chopper. What? We shouldn't fight without knowing for certain what their powers can do. But what are you gonna... I can't hold back the emotions that are running through me. You're going to kill children? Are you literally insane? Even the worst, most vicious criminals across the world don't take children hostage. That's true. That's true. And these are like government officials, but we shouldn't think of them as government officials like the ideal government officials. These are people who consider themselves above everyone else, like the worst kind of government. Like, they think, ugh. These are truly the worst kind of people. But I guess even the worst, most vicious criminals across the world don't take children hostage. Yeah. Did I ask for the opinions of insects? Why, you... And that's the funny part, right? Because these people see themselves above everyone on the ground. But what are they called? Holy knights. But even one of their own, Saint Saturn or whatever, I think it was. Was it Saint Saturn? He was killed by them like he meant nothing either. Like, I mean, one of the holy knights, like it was that other guy, Shanks's, wasn't it him? So my point is, they don't just see themselves as above the people living below them. The Gorosei also talked about them like as if they were insects. But even Saint Saturn was treated like nothing more than a spider once he couldn't do his mission or whatever. Even he was squashed like a bug at the end of the day. And I feel like that's one of the worst parts about being, if you're going to be a bad guy, right? When you're a good guy, and I don't mean that like, even like Luffy and them, who are not stereotypical good guys, but even when you're on the side of good, or whatever, I don't know how to say this, someone could always betray you, but you don't have to look over your shoulder all the time because you generally trust each other, right? But it's more rare, but someone could still betray you. I mean, look at what happened on Whitebeard's boat with Blackbeard, right? But now when you're on the side of the bad guys, when you're all openly bad, you have to expect someone to stab you in the back at some point. So I mean, I don't want to live my life like that. You know? Like always knowing that none of you respect each other, none of you respect life in general, none of you have real even pretend morals to some extent. I'm definitely not saying this right, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. So I think that's the worst part of being a villain, is just that knowing, like living in that, you can trust literally nothing. I mean, even, like I said, on the good side, people can still betray you, things can still go wrong, but it's not such a given. Yeah, anyway. What I'm saying is I wouldn't want to be on their side, that's all. Did I ask for the opinions of insects? I'll go too, Frankie. Thanks, you'll be a big help. We'll join the fight as well, split into 2 groups. One to fight the monsters and one to save the children. Take up your weapons. Hurry to branch route 8. Get in your ships to branch 8. Also, if you do choose to burn the school and the library, if you do, you are forbidden from removing a single book from them. You see, what we want to burn down is your culture and your history. Oh my gosh. Go Robin. Wow, she didn't just she smacked him hard. Damn. But this is a bad matchup for her. I'm worried. Want to burn your culture and your history. Cienfleur Craspidia. What is Craspidia? What does it mean? Wow, but she really smacked him hard, like right here. And right after he said, We want to burn down your culture and your history. Man. I saw.
So what?
Your claim.
Yeah. I don't know what to trade for yet, but I'm gonna do the race now.
Well, you have to trade Modru because you already have one of Luke's claims. So he has to trade you still. So maybe Modru has more.
I thought you took Lucy already.
I didn't.
You said you're gonna trade.
I want to trade you. I'm not going to do it without you seeing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
Bye. Good luck. Robin! Oof. Oh, Robin's all right. Who is shouting Robin? Be careful. We still don't know what makes them tick. Yes, I'm aware of that. Quattro mano. I know you. You're Nico Rock. Clutch! And then, but he's not gonna die. He's not gonna die. Cause that freaking, that girl, what's her name? She healed. Crosspedia is a type of plant. It looks like a weird dandelion. Ooh. Ooh. Cool. Cienfleur, Crosspedia. He kind of looks like the Crosspedia, and her palm or something, that is this part, and then he's the Crosspedia. Whoa, she clutched him. This is why from the very beginning I always thought that Robin was pretty OP, because she could literally just like snap anyone's neck. But of course, there's more to the One Piece world than that. So anyway, this is great, but I just don't think that, as amazing as it is to at least get one shot in, this is giving me like in the recent fight when the one guy's neck got broken and he just turned it around again. Yes, Robin! I heard cracking. They're immortal. You can't beat them. Can you hear me, Elbaf? You've got 20 seconds until the kid folds. Damn it, he's a zombie too. Huh? Hey, what is this all about? Are you in love with me or something? Where is she falling to? She's sacrificing herself! No, Robin! What, you jumped off? So she's trying to, if she can't kill him, she's trying to get him out of the way. You got a death wish? I'm down for love, but not a lover's leap. Robin, what are you doing? Is she going down with him? Yes. I'm well aware that you're immortal and have thorn-based powers. But as long as I remove those invisible thorns, we can save children. We can save the children. Oh, yeah? So you've deduced that knocking me down below will put the kids outside the range of my powers. You're a clever woman. No, Robin! Oh my god. Oh my god! It went through her freaking... But it's not her! It's a flower! Oh my god, I got a heart attack! I thought Robin was dead! That conniving vixen set me up. Shit. Fucking Robin, man, what the... I was like, I saw there's a thorn through her skull! The hell, Oda! The hell! I forgot. I didn't know she could. I feel like we've seen that she could do that, but she doesn't do it often. If you watched Naruto more recently, you wouldn't have fell for it. Yeah, because of the shadow. Yeah. But jeez. Anyway, but it's just because this whole leap, it's so Robin. I really believe that she did it. Oh my goodness. Anyway. She disappeared. That conniving vixen set me up. Robin, that was so cool. You were amazing. Yeah, that was amazing. Even the knife can't cut through this. So we can't undo these without deactivating that woman's powers. Oh, look how Nami is like freaking out. She's like fangirling. Anyway, Nami is fangirling. That's so cute. 10 seconds left. His voice. Time to speak up, Jarul. Make sure he hears the kid's voice. Gunko or Gunko or whatever your name is. Say something. Chief Jarul, what I want to say is I love the school. It's where my friends are. Aww. I love the library too. The books tell you about places all around the world. The teachers at school taught me this lesson. You mustn't cause trouble for other people. You mustn't do things that make them upset. But this is your life on the line. But you see, I told you. Remember when I told you about the kids standing in the way? They were in the walkway and they weren't considering the people around them. Remember that story I told you? This kid gets it. This kid wouldn't be the kind of kid that stands in the way and people have to walk through parked cars to get around them when there's a perfectly good walkway. I'm just saying. This kid is like really young. Okay, well, not for a giant. She's really young and she gets it. She's got manners. But this is her life that's on the line. You're not causing trouble. You're not. If we lose the school and library in order to stop me from falling, that would be really sad and make everyone upset. So I think I should fall instead. No, that's not. You shouldn't sacrifice yourself to that extent. You're a child. Don't worry, I'll be all right. I'm a lucky girl. I bet everything will turn out fine. Oh my God, cherish her. At all costs, we must protect her. Luffy will... 3, 2, 1. Anj, set fire to the school. Burn down the library. Yes, because if we're part of a society that can't protect the children, then what do we have? Like, history versus the even if it's just one child. And it's not, Yes, sir. I like that. I like that look on you, Nico Robin. No, don't you dare. Run, Robin, do something. Yes! Yes! Sanji! Old Sanji! It's not Sanji, it's old Sanji. He is the Sanji of the past, okay? Oh. Wait, I have to look at it like this. Okay, so they decided to burn down the library because that was the thing. No one wanted the kid to fall for the library. Everyone was just like, wait, isn't there any way that we can save both? But then this freaking girl, and then there wasn't any time left, so they had to burn the library because this is a child's life. Like, I don't think anyone in history, the people of history, like people like Hakase, Clover Hakase, they kept the records of history to protect the future, to protect, to teach the next generation. But what's the point of if there's no next generation to teach? This girl, Ronja, she is the next generation. So what's the point of protecting history if we're letting, she's the one that should benefit from us preserving history. But if we can't preserve her, there's no point in preserving history. So that's why we had to save her. But thank God this mother trucker showed up, and I don't know what he did to him, but do it again. Do it again. Been a while, eh? Scopper Gaban. Dun dun dun. Look at his face. Look at his scared face. Get him. That's the face I want to see on this guy. This stupid ass. He's so. I hate these people. I hate people that don't see value in other people's lives. Like, I don't think that they should be, like, even their lives have value, but when they are willing to sacrifice other people's lives for their whatever they want, well, they need to be stopped. Thank God. That was a great, great, great chapter. Woo! Look at his face. He's so cool. And his axe is so cool. Whew, that chapter went by like that. Very fast. Jeez. Now, let me just quickly see who rolled here. Koha Ren. Cool design. Cool design. It's the last hour, so let's see if I can roll a One Piece character and claim. Tiago says, I made my post in the Discord. Okay, I'll read it in a second. I can't believe Hanku claimed Erza and Lucy. Like, wow, he has good luck with the fairy tale girls. Ooh, she's got a really cool design. Fina, pirate princess, and her name is Charlotte Barry because of, there was a female pirate named Charlotte something, right? Wow, that was a good chapter. The tensions were so high. Okay, so Tiago said, One Piece 114. Oh, Hydrogen rolled. Okay, I'll claim him because I've got Loki and now I've got Hydrogen, and he rolled in this chapter, so it has to be fate. Let me just reply to Cherry. I also have Loki. There are a couple of differences with the Spanish translation, and I wonder which is more accurate. In Spanish, they said that no one takes kids hostages as their first move, but implied that the worst people would do it eventually. And they also said that they will not be allowed to have any book, not retrieve them from the library, not even personal books. It doesn't sound like it makes a big difference to me. Well, except the first part sounds like it's different. But the second part, no books. They want to wipe out their culture, their history and their culture. So that's why no books. But that, I don't think that it needs to be said explicitly further than, you won't be allowed any books. We want to wipe out your history. We want to wipe out your culture. That says to me enough. But I guess the first part, but I think my version makes more sense in my head because there are a bunch of, especially in the One Piece world, the villains aren't always the worst. Like, we root for a bunch of bad guys in this world. And even some of the worst guys wouldn't take a child hostage. Like, some of the people that we've known, like, they're bad people, but they have their limits. So I think that my translation sounds right for me. and what I know about One Piece, because it just, they're just saying like there were tons of villains in this world, but even some of them wouldn't take a child hostage, you know? So Tiago said that went well enough for a sneak attack from Robin. Fall and land like a wrecking ball, Somers. Well, I can dream. Go Gaban, kick his ass. I'm wondering if the wound not healing is a weapon thing, like a sea stone. The wound not healing. Which wound? Luffy's haki in Gear 5 form didn't cut it against the 5 elders on Egghead. But then again, Joy Boy's haki did, so what do I know? The wound not healing, I assumed... Oh, I missed this part. It's not coming back. Oh. Yes, like, I missed that! How did I miss his hand coming off? I just saw this. I was so, like, I was looking at his face here. I was looking at this wound here. And I was looking at this face. I didn't even see that his hand came off and it wasn't coming back. Oh, when you said, before I knew about the hand, I thought you meant this wound not healing. And so I was going to say, it's just because it's the end of the chapter, though it'll probably heal in the next one. But he said it's not coming back. And yes, in that case, it must be something like Sea Prism Stone, but against them and their powers. Look at how scared his face is. I love that, because he's so smug. This whole time, he's so smug. It might be an art error, but his left hand got cut off in the top panel, but his right is missing in the bottom. Oh, I see what you're saying. Left, right, right. Yeah, that looks like his right arm, and that's his right arm. But so just, maybe it's a, yeah, probably just a continuity error. But I love this chapter so much, and I love this moment for Robin so much. I was really, like, shook. I want to trade you, but not now that you have hydrogen. Also need to trade me for Miyamura. I don't know how to spell Miyamura with no for Hori Boy plus blonde girl from Kaiju 8. Cherry, every time I claim a character, Cherry's like, trade me. And I was looking through her characters for someone to trade, but I don't. The only one she has is, would you do Kikoru for Mavuika? Yes, I would. Oops. Mother. I want Toge Inumaki. The only problem is I don't roll game characters, so I don't know if I could get a key from Mavuika, but I have a... We'll talk about it later. On a more light-hearted note, Brooke was the only one completely tied up with his mouth covered. I like to think he just wouldn't stop with the skull jokes. So you mean like he was probably making too many jokes and Gunko was like, okay, I'm just gonna, and no one else had their mouth covered except him. Oh, I hope they add that in the anime. I hope they add a scene for that. That would be hilarious. I think the anime has a lot of opportunity to add things like that. I miss those kinds of jokes. It feels a lot like a Skypia joke because Skypia had so much comedy and I really miss that. Best kind of filler, yeah. As long as it doesn't interrupt like a big fight or a serious moment suddenly with poorly timed comedy. One Piece should take more liberty with stuff like that. I would like. So yeah, if they had time. So, yeah, I like a chapter like this that has a lot of action, but there isn't necessarily a lot to talk about. And I don't know if I feel like reading SBSs today because there's so many games. We're all in the mood for games today. But let's just quickly take a look at where we are in the anime right now. The last episode that aired was when Saint Saturn arrived on... it was here, episode 1128. It was when he revealed his true form for the first time. So that's where we're at in the anime. And it has been definitely fun, even though I've already read the manga. It's still a lot of fun to see the anime come to life with the colors and the voice acting and even big moments like when Luffy ate the light, like the laser or something. I forgot that happened until I saw it again, so it was very exciting. It's interesting to see how they choose to animate a lot of things, like when Luffy punched Kizaru in the head. Like, I preferred the black and white of the manga because in the anime they made the color look unexpected to me with how he was being punched. But you know, the build up, the movement and everything they did so well. The anime has been very good, very exciting. It just goes so fast. I really wish that episodes were longer than 20 minutes. And then Bonnie cruelly stabbed his jar of jam hidden in his beard. Yeah. They did that really well. But they definitely added more blood or jam, in the anime, I think. If I remember correctly now. So, I'm going to leave it at that. I thought it was super exciting. I love this for Robin. I would love to see more. But in the same vein as with the anime, where 20 minutes just doesn't feel enough, this just doesn't feel enough. But it makes it very exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to the next chapter even more now. It's cool to see Gaban arrive on time. I think that the girl is still gonna fall, but I'm really hoping that Luffy or Loki or someone somehow will be able to save her, because she's this kind of Pollyanna character where she's terribly sad, terribly afraid, but she keeps on this brave face. She keeps feeling positive. She believes that she's lucky. Recently, an animator said that Luffy Gear 5 is the most fun character to animate, and everyone wants to animate him. Oh, that's cool. I love that Luffy, and I love that he's very... like, a lot of people seem to either love or hate him. And to me, it's very telling. The people that don't like Gear 5 Luffy... you know, to each their own, but it's very telling to me, I would say, about the kind of person that would hate Gear 5 Luffy. Summer said the perfect thing to piss off Robin. I loved her not holding back. Exactly. Destroy your history, destroy your culture, and then she couldn't hold back anymore. Plus, but I would like to think that she was already planning to get him before he said that, because she was prepping Chopper to like hide or something, and she was gonna attack because of the child, RONJA. And I think that it's very important to her because, you know, she used to be her. She was this little kid that was caught up in just the world falling apart around her, and no one was really there to save her except, you know, Aokiji helped her to, at least he kind of like held back. At least he didn't, I wouldn't say that, well, he did help her, didn't he? Or he just didn't do anything, like he remained neutral. I don't know. But either way, he was there for her, but not really, really. So now it's like she really, really wants to be there for this girl who is just caught up in stuff that has almost nothing to do with her. You know? So I feel like that girl reflects that memory of Robin for me, at least. Yeah, but that's not what I said though. You don't have to love Gear 5 Luffy, but there are people who actively hate him. And like I said, it's art. It's an opinion. It's like fine however you feel, but it's still telling to me. If you actively hate Gear 5 Luffy, like, so if you're okay with him, if it's like I like it, it's fine. That's not who I was talking about though. What is telling is the ones who dislike him. If you're neutral, if you like it a lot, but if you hate Gear 5 Luffy, if you say that I don't like this Luffy, I don't know, it just feels so, do you like One Piece? Because he, to me, but this is just me, it's not an objective thing, of course, it just feels like he embodies the core of what One Piece has always been since the very beginning, since we had a rubber MC. You know, that people thought was silly. A lot of people don't start One Piece because Luffy is too silly. A rubber hero, what? Not a rubber hero, I mean a rubber MC. It was goofy. It's always been goofy. Well, I probably shouldn't say that it's not common. It's just that usually the people who speak are either the ones who love or hate him. So it's not that the ones in the middle are the minority. They're just people who don't say a lot because they don't feel strong enough. So they might seem like the minority, but they're not, because it's usually the biggest amount of people who just remain quiet. Because they don't, yeah. Did you ever see the gear death memes? It's the standard edgy power-up. It's pretty funny. You should send me. Post it in the anime, in the manga chat, or wherever. Okay. Well, I'm loving this arc so far. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving this girl. Her I don't know, she seems like, you know, not everyone should be like this girl. But there are kids like this. There are people like this but it makes me sad to feel like, you know, they were taught to be not a nuisance to others. That's a very Japanese mentality, I feel. I haven't been all around the world, so I'm sure it's other people's mentality too. But at least not in my country, I don't feel like we teach our kids not to be a nuisance to others. And it can be very detrimental, as we see here. But at the same time, at least she's surrounded with adults who understand that, okay, that's not what we meant. This is not your life being in danger is not a nuisance. And it's not, you're not the nuisance. The ones holding you hostage are the nuisance, to put it lightly. But yeah, I love Ronja. When Ronja rolls in Waifu Wars, I will claim her. One Piece has so many great kids. Toko, Tama. Who were we talking about earlier? What's her name? The mermaid. Chimney. That girl with the very first few episodes with the onigiri, and she made it sweet. Momonosuke. Yeah, I almost forgot that Momonosuke was a kid, right? But yeah, One Piece is filled with a lot of great kids. Oh, and there's one thing that I wanted to talk about, but it's a bit controversial. But it's like, no one needs to take it seriously. It's just my opinion. And I mentioned it in the recent anime reaction. And I guess now's a pretty good time to talk about it. But just be aware that I'm saying it as my opinion, and take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to feel the same way. But I at least thought that people would be willing to discuss it. But it seems like a lot of, some in the comments don't even want to have the discussion. They've already decided how they feel about it, and there's no room for argument. But let's start here. So, recently in the anime reaction for episode 1128, I said that I really like Bonnie's character because after reading the manga and stuff, I know there's a lot of controversy about her character, but for me it feels very fitting because it feels like Bonnie's character, because of all this political drama, all this corruption, her father, like, her mother, what happened to her mother, oh my god, there's so much that people still haven't seen in the manga that still needs to be animated, and I can't imagine, like, no wonder they had to change the time slot for the anime because it gets dark. It's still a shonen though, but it's getting dark. Okay, but Bonnie's character is to me very fitting because she's introduced as, an adult, but we learn that she's actually a kid that was forced to become an adult to deal with this world that is warring against itself. On the surface, most civilians are not even aware about this good versus bad war that is going on. And I don't mean good in the conventional sense, but this, and it's something that has happened before, it seems, according to that, the history, the 100-year void. It seems like this is a repeating history. And to me, Bonnie is like this embodiment of children who need to step into this war before, like, we shouldn't get children involved with this. And it's been a theme that has been repeating over and over with Robin, now with Ronja, with lots of kids that get hurt because of adults fucking power struggling, and the kids get dragged into it. And Bonnie to me is the perfect, she's like the I don't know how to say it, but she's the accumulation of this theme that has been repeating. Even someone brought this character up to reject my theory, but even Rebecca, who she couldn't be protected. Her father was taken from her. Her mother was taken from her. And then she's this sexualized character, which is a big problem to them, even though she's young. But isn't that the point? She was thrust into this fight, this war, because of a power struggle amongst adults. So the kids suffer. The kids are the ones that are growing up before their time. It reminds me of Dunkirk, which I watched too, because of all the young kids that had to go off to war and became men before they needed to, Anyway, that's a whole other topic. So to me, that's how I feel about Bonnie. And I know that a lot of people, oh no, Oda has, literally someone said, no, you're just making headcanon up because, which is fine, you don't have to agree with me, but he doesn't disagree and says, here's why I disagree. He literally says, no, that's headcanon, I'm shut off, I have decided that Oda is a pervert, and he just likes this kind of thing. He likes, which is weird to me because we have all these kids in the show that, I don't know. So with characters like Bonnie and Rebecca, there's more to it. The only difference is I understand the reason why if you're sensitive towards the issue, I understand why you would feel like very protective. But I'm sensitive towards the issue. There's certain shows that I can't watch because I just feel weirded out, like Made in Abyss. I don't care if anyone enjoys it, but so it's not like I am blind to problematic things that may be problematic. It's not like I'm blind. It's not like I wouldn't say if, but the reason why, like, there's reason to it for me. There's a very good reason. There's a and especially with Bonnie's backstory, it kind of emphasizes it or supports my theory for me. So recently I watched, and this is a comparison that I'm making to just kind of explain my theory further. But I've had this theory before I watched Black Lagoon, the end of Black Lagoon season 2. But I recently watched the end of Black Lagoon season 2, and there's a character called Yukio that reminds me, Momo literally had to give up his childhood, yes, exactly, because his dad was killed too. And he had to, yes, another good example. But there was a character called Yukio in Black Lagoon. She was also 16, 17, and her dad was some kind of like Yakuza boss. And she was being shielded kind of from that world, and she was kind of pretending to live a normal life. But you really have to watch Black Lagoon to understand. I'm not going to explain it well enough. But so she was trying to live a normal life, trying to pretend, she's not part of that world. She was going to school, doing her homework. She was this really nice. But then, okay, her dad was killed. Her uncle was killed. She had to become the new leader of this clan because they wouldn't accept anyone else. And she said that she decided to do this because this is her fate. So she became a Yakuza boss for a very short period of time, but she was dragged into that world. And then there was like a uragiri mono, a traitor. He then took her, they assaulted her because now they wanted to use her as a pawn. And she also got I don't know, you see how there's a parallel. Like, she was grown up before her time. Everyone wants her to live, at least us as the viewers, and the main character, who is kind of meant to be the viewer, I think, an observer. So she gets dragged into this world, sexually assaulted, all of this stuff, and we feel like, why does this child have to be brought into it? And then she looks at the viewer and the MC, and she says, if you really wanted to save me, then this and that, and it's like a whole, you could write essays upon essays about that whole character and that whole show. But Black Lagoon is not a shonen, so it's a dark show, and it's like, there's not a lot of comedy around this character, there's not a lot of fun. But One Piece is a shonen. It has to keep things light. It has to keep things fun. People have a lot of issues with characters like even Tamaki from Fire Force. I know that not ecchi is not everyone's comedy, but it's a form of comedy in the same way that there's black comedy too, And not everyone likes that kind of comedy, but it's a form of comedy. It doesn't mean that if you make a dark joke that you're a bad person. Just like if you make an ecchi joke, it doesn't make you a pervert or a pedophile or a whatever. So I think it seems very within the context of One Piece and the tone of the show, it tackles very serious issues for a long time, but there's comedy, there's, you know, pretty girls, like, God forbid a woman develop boobs. But anyway, so for me, Bonnie's character reflects Yukio. I don't know why I emphasized Yukio. Her character reflects a character like Yukio, but in a shonen world where we still need to keep things light enough and fun enough and funny enough and all that kind of stuff, so that it's still digestible and still fits into the shonen box. So my point is not that you have to agree with me that Bonnie's character has more meaning to it. Her growing up, even though she's a young girl, and being sexualized in the eyes of the viewer, it goes further than that. In the same way that Yukio's character being sexualized and all this kind of stuff happening to her, there's a meaning behind it for me. And I'm not saying you need to agree with that, but at least be willing to discuss before you decide that someone is a freaking pedophile. At least be willing to discuss, be willing to think about things. You know, that's my point, I guess. For me, I see a lot of meaning in Bonnie's character, in Kuma's character, and I only feel so strongly about it because it's a theme that has been very prevalent for a long time with Momo, with Rebecca, with Vivi to some extent, not so much regarding sexualization, but that's even such a strong word, but I think that kids growing up before their time, because of the state that the world is in, because of the corruption, the gorosei, look at what happened to Kumai. That's why Bonnie had to go out and become Jewelry Bonnie, the captain of the, what are they called? The pizza pirates? I don't remember. That's why she had to go out and be this adult. In our eyes, in the world's eyes. I mean, think about Mulan. It's obviously different, but she also, people looked at her as just this woman, and she had to change her appearance to go out and fight. Not everyone needs to turn into a man to go out and fight in the world. Bonnie had to turn into a woman. Her little lipstick that she does, because she thought that's what a grown-up woman would do. The body that she chooses to have, that's her idea of this pirate queen, to put it like, it's not literally she's the pirate queen, but maybe eventually that would have been her goal. But she has these ideas, she does this, everything because her mother was taken from her father was taken from her, and that guy, Saint Saturn, fucked up her whole life. Not because he had to. He could have let Kuma keep his free will. He could have done so many things differently, but he didn't. So adults and the choices that they make and the power struggles lead to children becoming adults before they need to be. And we can look at a character like Bonnie as an adult. She's an adult. When she grows up, her body is the body of an adult. If you think that's attractive, who fucking gives a shit? It's a drawing. Like, I feel like I understand feeling uncomfortable because I agree there are some things that make me uncomfortable too for whatever reason. But at least be willing to discuss it. And at the end of the day, if it does make you feel uncomfortable, don't just think that if it doesn't make someone uncomfortable, well, that makes them a pedophile. That's reductive reasoning. Because people just don't think about things the same way. And to me, if you're going to be that, like, if you don't like something, if it makes you uncomfortable, like for me, Made in Abyss makes me uncomfortable, Mushoku Tensei makes me uncomfortable. But I don't go around saying that to everyone in every reaction video, like, oh, the creator of this work is a pedophile and there's something wrong with you if you like this. That seems a bit excessive to me. Like, just take a step back then and rather, I don't know, spend that time and energy fighting for some real world problems where kids are actually real kids are being, I mean, look at what Hollywood looks like. There are so many kids that you could be fighting for over there, so many real world problems you could be spending your voice on, your energy on, your time. People finding adult Bonnie attractive is really not such a big problem. I don't know. It's difficult to like, I think it's an interesting conversation, but I'm not even allowed to have the conversation because people shut you down and call you names just for. So that's why I'm a bit frustrated. I mean, I know there are some pieces of content that are very questionable. They serve as red flags, but it's a far cry from calling people pedophiles. But that's the thing for me. Like I said, red flags, if you feel something's a red flag, you're allowed to feel that and you're allowed to say that and say, I'm uncomfortable with this piece of work because this is a red flag to me. That's fine. If someone wants to discuss it with you, discuss it with them without calling them names, because that there's a what is that fallacy called if you don't refute someone's argument but you rather just call them names to refute them as a person and make the argument look wrong by making them look like a bad thing, like a pedo. So don't do that. If you find any piece of work questionable, that's fine. But I don't know what people are going around doing, calling people who like Bonnie a pedo, or people, even Oda. I feel like at that point, if you're really gonna spend your time and energy arguing stuff like that, you could use that passion somewhere where it can make a difference, which is there are tons of kids, real world children that need your help, that need your voice. I guess people feel like if they can, if Bonnie is going to be drawn differently, that will somehow change the world. But I think more so Bonnie's character makes me realize, like, hey, kids should be kids. We should protect our society so that kids don't have to do this. So that kids don't have to become adults before their time. So that Rebecca isn't thrown into a Colosseum fight because her father isn't there to protect her when he needs to be. Like, we should be careful of people like Doflamingo. We should be careful of the Gorosei, so that we can live in the kind of society where children can be children, where Bonnie can grow up with her dad, where she can get where the medication or the whatever that she needs without Saturn taking her father's free will away as the cost of that. I don't know, there's meaning to me in Bonnie's character, and her being a pretty adult, because she can turn into an adult, is, I don't know how people see that as this giant red flag. Like, I don't know. It just seems to me like shutting down the conversation is a bit extreme, all things considered. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say. Once again, you don't have to agree with me. I do understand if a piece of media makes you feel uncomfortable for whatever reason, but I don't think that it's constructive to tear down people for just thinking differently than you about that subject matter. Like, I feel like that just pushes people further into their own corner. So, anyway. Thanks for watching. It was an amazing chapter. I will see you guys next time. Bye.